Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
Baron Trump is currently going viral for a very different reason than you might expect. Baron Trump, of course, the youngest son of Donald Trump, who last went viral for...
I love my suitcase.
Of course, only the other day was his father's inauguration, which he attended. Now, this day was very controversial across social media, as you can imagine, for a number of different reasons, including the customary of being sworn in with your hand on the Bible, which he didn't do. A lot of people saying this is a good thing and very respectable, but a lot of others saying how bad it is. Orders were signed, the 75-day extension on TikTok happened, with many other things that were signed and said the same day. This guy was going viral and still is all across social media because of what he was doing that day. The first reason, when his dad called his name and thanked him for helping with the social media side of things, he stood up like an absolute god. And there's now a lot of aura edits as well as thirst trap edits from this footage. Other popular thing going around is that he's giving off full-on Bruce Wayne vibes and is literally going to turn into Batman soon. So yeah, mate, I guess we're going to see. But probably the most viral thing is this. Yes, it's real. His father, Mr. Trump, had said he had a very tall son named Baron Trump, and people took this literally and started making edits.
Surely people didn't think that was real.
It wouldn't surprise me, bro.
We want to get the word out about these breaking developments as they evolve over this year, 2025. Everyone I'm speaking to in the U.S. government have indicated this is going to be the year of disclosure of all this coming out. It's going to start slowly and then pick up speed. There's just been the smallest tickling of that right now with some whistleblowers coming forward. There are a lot more in the wings. And then there are a number of activities that are to be determined depending on what the incoming Congress and administration will do.
They've been saying this for years.
Nothing's gonna happen, bro.
When did the Chinese land on the moon?
I have no idea.
2013. Do you ever see the video?
No.
So the Chinese landed on the moon in 2013, and they released a video for it. But pretty quick, that video was taken down, and they said, no, it's just because it was so bad. It was so fake. Because they didn't have, Kubrick, You need a better production staff and better cameras if you guys want to fake this.
Yeah.
I basically talked about CNN and Fox, and I said, I don't want to be here because everything I say on here is going to be a lie. I said, it's not me lying. It's the fact that they can edit and they can do whatever they want with it. They can build narratives out of whatever. Just like this show right here. If somebody only listens to a snippet that you put out there, depending on what snippet you put, you could paint me as an evil, bad person. Or you could paint me as a really good person. Or you could paint me as one of the coolest SEALs that ever lived. I don't want to do this anymore. Because I don't believe what you guys are peddling on either side.
The sad thing is, you cannot fix stupidity. And that's what's happening here.
Cognitive dissonance.
The moon ain't real, bro.
He's right about online content, and the bots are only going to make it worse.
For those who do not know about water, this may freak you out. Veda Austin has stumbled upon some pretty wild stuff. She let salt water evaporate in a petri dish with a pyramid in it, and the salt water crystallized into little mini pyramids. Now to test this, she used the same salt water and let it evaporate without the pyramid, and it formed its normal cubical shape. Now, water is pretty unique in the universe. If you get it in your car motor, it'll lock it up and bend all the metal. And it's also how we turn turbines in coal plants. It exists in all 3 states on the planet, and it is a very powerful solvent. Its molecules are shaped like hexagons, and we see this when it freezes. This means that anything that is dissolved in it can be stored in it, which is why you should always filter and realign your water if you can. I've shown you through cymatics that your DNA also shares this same shape. And using cymatics, we can read it like a song. If Veda left this in a quiet room, it's probably resonating at the Schumann resonance, about 7 hertz, the resonance of the planet. When that crystal vibrates, it transmits that vibration to the salt crystals via the water. There's a fantastic research paper on this by How Science. They transmitted an entire genetic sequence through water using 7 hertz. They put 2 beakers of water next to each other. One was pure water, one was DNA. They then subjected them both to 7 hertz and waited 18 hours. After using a polymerase reaction, they recreated the DNA. If that wasn't enough, a team of researchers made a hard drive using the same technique. It stored the data of 2 trillion CDs in a gram, and it read it 10,000 times faster.
We gotta do the water episode, bro.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what subjects you guys want to see us do deep dives on. If you see a subject in the comments someone else has left, give them a thumbs up if you want to see that too.
So the Pentagon actually confirmed for once the video of the pyramid-shaped UFOs caught off the Navy vessel. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you the video on here, but it's basically, it's in the night vision, and they released it and it was all over, and I was kind of like, okay, you know, we have a lot of videos, we do, because there was footage from a year ago and then 2 years ago also from a Navy vessel, and that just kind of got buried. But the Pentagon has consistently been going on and on about there's no evidence whatsoever of any of this stuff. We see nothing. There's nothing going on. Everybody shush. So I don't show very many videos, UAP videos. They're all over the place. There have been some really good ones coming up lately, so I am going to put those up because they're pretty intriguing. But this one I found, and I just feel like this is a step in the right direction. The fact that they actually confirmed that this is a real video that they captured. Plus, it looks pretty cool.
Based investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell recently released this video taken by the Navy, showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019.
UFOs are real. They're flying with impunity within our restricted airspace. They represent an advanced and sophisticated technology. And it's a technology that requires scientific scrutiny and study.
The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic. It's part of a recent data dump by Corbell and investigative reporter George Knapp.
People are now taking this seriously and eliminating the unnecessary ridicule that has stigmatized the UFO topic.
From the Navy showing pyramid-shaped objects flying in the sky.
This extraordinary video and images of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, were leaked to investigative reporter. Reportedly shows 3 pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the coast of California. These UFOs reportedly hovered just 700 feet above the tail of the Navy destroyer, making, quote, extraordinary maneuvers. Show 3 different unidentified aircrafts off the coast of Oceania, including 2 UFOs dubbed the Metallic Blimp and another called the Sphere. A Department of Defense spokesperson said, quote, "I can confirm that the referenced photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel. The Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations."
This guy's a plant for Bluebeam, bro.
If you're a recent member, go and check out our episode on Project Bluebeam.
In honor of reaching part 500, here are some of the most morbid facts I've ever posted. In 1993, Canadian lawyer Gary Hoy claimed to a group of students that the windows in his building were unbreakable. To prove this, he threw himself at the window at full force. While the glass didn't break, the frame popped out and Gary fell 24 stories to his death. In cases of CP, someone has to actually watch the video from beginning to end so that they can testify about it in court. After his mother died in 2013, Arizona man Jim Stauffer donated her body for scientific research. He later found out that her corpse was sold to the US military for $6,000 and blown up at a bomb testing site. After being diagnosed with polio at age 3, Diane Odell spent nearly 60 years in a 750-pound iron lung. She only died when a power outage shut down the machine that had been keeping her alive for decades. These were just some of the wedding rings that were removed from victims of Buchenwald concentration camp during the Holocaust. In Houston, Texas, a 19-year-old man named Rashad died while attempting to play Russian roulette in front of his friends. But he apparently didn't know how the game worked since he tried using a semi-automatic pistol instead of a revolver. In 1985, a 13-year-old Colombian girl named Omaira Sanchez was trapped up to her waist in volcanic mud flow. Knowing there was no way to free her, volunteers and rescuers did their best to comfort her. She died after 60 hours, and her photo became iconic. A grieving mother from Florida added a sandbox to the gravesite of her baby boys so that his big brother could play with him. In order to keep Genghis Khan's burial a secret, all 2,000 people who attended his funeral were executed. The executioners were then killed by members of his escort, who eventually took their own lives once they reached their destination. 800 years later, Genghis Khan's burial site still remains undiscovered to this day.
They look grim.
Genghis Khan would be a good deep dive episode, bro.
Oh, this is absolutely bonkers. You gotta watch this. Look at this. So it's 1938. And all this time we're spending through the years as Americans, family was such an important figure in our life. Friends are still at the hierarchy. We went to school. Good thing that's changing. College and school. Don't need that Rockefeller education, but yeah, check this out. It's just absolutely bonkers. 1975. Now it's about the time I was born. In a huge shift, kerplunk, family going down, and then we see this. Oh my God, the internet, the matrix going up like crazy. All of this time we're wasting on our devices, disconnected from family.
It's crazy how quick it happened.
The next generation are fucked.
Gen Z will be less than it could be permanently. I think that Gen Z is not, even if we look at them in 30, 40 years, my prediction is they'll be less successful than they would have been if they had normal human childhoods. So I think we will see a permanent effect on Gen Z.
But that's a tragedy, John.
Oh, this is the greatest destruction of human capital in human history. We've taken an entire generation globally. We've taken away what they need biologically to develop, risk exposure, hanging out time. We've taken all that away and given them something unnatural. It's completely insane that when puberty starts, which is around 11 or 12 for girls and around 13 or 14 for boys, basically when we give them a phone and say, how about no more real world experience? How about you spend 10 hours a day on this thing? And just as if we gave our kids alcohol every hour, that would disrupt neural growth. Well, I would say giving them 4 hours a day of video games for the boys or 5 hours a day of video games for the girls, it's going to disrupt neural growth. But it doesn't mean that each kid in Gen Z is condemned to a life of anxiety because the human brain is quite malleable up through 25, and even after that, we can all learn new thinking patterns and new behavior patterns. The millennials were different in the way that every generation is different. So every generation has stereotypes of the one after them. They're soft, they're self-involved. That's been true for since about the 16th century. Once you get modernity, you get rapid change. Each generation thinks the one behind it is defective. So, but that's always been the case. What we have here is something very new. Gen Z is not just that they're different; it's that they're really anxious, fragile. They have no attention to focus on things, and they're just not very effective. I mean, they're so anxious, and they're always taking days off, and they don't take initiative on things, and they expect others to come and fix things. I mean, so Gen Z is not integrated into the workforce well. None of this is their fault. This poor generation, they were the first that were completely deprived of play, and then they were the first to go through puberty on smartphones.
Any kids watching this, go play outside.
It's nice to know people watch our show as a family, and others get together just to watch it.
Yeah, shout out Chris and the gals.
When cities have large-scale protests that last for prolonged periods of time, stray dogs will start showing up to the protest and attack and intimidate the police and only the police. The phenomenon is so widespread and so well documented, there's actually a shorthand term for it. People call them Riot Dogs. But if you want a quick but very cool read, go check out the Riot Dog entry in Wikipedia. That page also includes a list of celebrity Riot Dogs that became folk heroes in their own country. One of the first celebrity Riot Dogs was Luka Nikos. Luka Nikos was highly involved in the anti-austerity protests in his home city of Athens, Greece back in 2011. He never left the front for the entire protest, got tear gassed many times. But of course, the world's most famous riot dog was the Black Matapacos of Santiago, Chile. There's a series of student-led protests in Santiago back in 2011. And whenever the kids and the cops got into a standoff, this stray dog would just appear, get in between the two of them, and snarl and bite and snap at the cops, trying to keep them from getting too close to the students. The students were all wearing bandanas around their neck as a sign of solidarity, so it became like a meme. Whenever you saw that dog, you had to tie a bandana around his neck. The Black Matapacos died a natural death as an old dog a couple of years later, but then became a symbol in Chile.
Dogs really are man's best friend.
I thought I was your best friend, bro.
Recently, they just found unfossilized soft dinosaur tissue. Soft dinosaur tissue? So now the brilliant scientists are trying to figure out how could tissue stay soft for 70 million years? The thought will never cross their brain to question that maybe it's not 70 million years old. I mean, that thought will never enter their head, okay? We've got 8 of these stones in Pensacola, Florida. It's the largest collection in America, I believe. Why would they put circles on the side of the dinosaurs? Well, nobody ever found dinosaur skin until about 20 years ago, when fossilized dinosaur skin was found. It's very interesting, the dinosaur skin has circle patterns on it. They had to see a live one to know to put that on the stones. Because you couldn't tell that from the bones. This guy's cutting the head off a dragon. There's a guy riding one. This guy says nobody's ever seen a dinosaur. Well, why did they put them on their cave paintings? Why did they put them on ancient pottery? Why do we see so many legends of dragons if nobody's ever seen one?
Dragons were real, bro.
We could have been, but I doubt it.
So seem to have had a lot of problems with the music industry.
Yes,
For 2 years you've talked about.
For God's sakes, they don't pay you.
Nobody's actually paying you for these?
No.
There is a report that at a business meeting once you pulled out a knife.
I sure damn did.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because there was a record company that stole my albums and didn't pay me, and they came to Switzerland, and I said, where's my money? And they said, we're not going to give you any money. I said, oh, yes, you are. And I got a gun, and I followed him to a restaurant, and I tried to kill him. I missed him, and I went back to America.
You actually pulled the trigger?
No, excuse me. Yes, I did.
and felt better for it.
Oh, yes. Sorry I didn't get him.
Neither didn't fuck about.
Yeah, that was pretty gangster.
My wife and I have saved 71,000 children from trafficking just in the last 7 years, working with some of the best organizations. I've gone out on those undercover in multiple different groups.
What do you mean you've gone out undercover?
I went to Haiti undercover with a group of former Navy SEALs, SEAL Team 6 guys, and a couple CIA guys that are brilliant. And we went down to rescue 32 children, and they were from 6 different madams. And these were 14-year-old girls and boys, but mostly girls, and chained to a bed doing 8 to 10 tricks a day.
And you saw this?
I unfortunately experienced it. I pretended that I was coming here, this very wealthy guy with 30 of my friends. And so we rented this place, and we couldn't tell the police because the police are involved. So the only person who was the prime minister, the president. And so we worked everything out, and then he was going to have his special forces group come in at the very end. But we had to film it and trap it. I'm seeing things that you can't unsee, unfortunately. The worst part of, I wouldn't call it humanity because these people aren't human. And at the last moment on the boat, someone said, "You're Tony Robbins." I was like, holy shit, it was my voice. It didn't matter, my voice is so distinctive, and they'd heard it. And while it's going on, I'm watching one of the guys who's this brilliant guy doing this negotiation, and he's so convincing, so enthusiastic, and we want the young ones and all that stuff. He's on our side of the table. Everything's being filmed. We're right off the beach, and then on the beach, this place where they're going to go get the children, and that's got all filming in it. And as he's doing it, there was 3 men and a woman, and the woman had intuition, and I could sense her. She senses something's off. Fortunately, we got it done. We went on there, and then the special forces people didn't show up, and we're freaking out. The last second they show up, we had to leave the country because also the police come, they'll put us in jail, right? So we rescued all these kids. It's the worst thing I've ever seen and the most beautiful things I've ever seen when the freedom is there. And then we funded for them, the integration process to come back from that when you've gone through so much trauma. It's pretty amazing, and use a lot of the tools that I developed there.
That's horrific. It's good they got them out.
It's happening all over the world, bro.
Look at this freaking lady right here. What a brilliant business idea she just gave me that I want you to copy. But first, what's she doing? So she went online and bought these $300 Meta Quest augmented reality goggles. Then she has ChatGPT generate a funky looking image. She displays the image on the pavement with her goggles and draws inside the lines. You can monetize this in at least 2 different ways. Before I tell you those ways, here's why this would work. As consumers, we don't hate marketing or ads. We hate ugly marketing and ads. Why do you think everyone watches the Super Bowl just for the commercials? Because they're good, they're artful, they're entertaining. So if you're walking down the road and you see some eye-catching artwork that literally stops you in your tracks, not only will you not be mad about it, even if you're the owner of that parking lot or sidewalk, but you're going to be more likely to buy the product or service that's being advertised in the artwork. Here's how you monetize this. Let's say you own a pressure washing business. Go to ChatGPT and have it generate a few images for you, display it with your goggles, and start filling in the lines. Yes, I'm oversimplifying, but that's okay, because if I didn't, you would never start anything. Go find somewhere with a ton of foot traffic, outdoor shopping, parking lot of a mall, get creative, put some art down there with your phone number in big bold letters. Number 2, any company out there could benefit from marketing like this to sell their product or service. So you can even make some artwork that advertises your artwork. Charge $500 to $3,000 to draw this on behalf of another company so they can use this creative marketing as well. Full business plan here.
That's actually a really good idea.
Check out these trains, bro.
China's high-speed rail is now faster than an airplane, and Elon Musk says this is a super big deal. It's crazy. China cracked the code to high-speed travel with this new breakthrough, magnetic levitation. Using giant magnets to levitate the train above its tracks and a low vacuum tube to eliminate drag, China's bullet train can reach 1,000 kilometers per hour, which is faster than most airplanes, and their passengers can enjoy stable 5G internet during the ride. But this is off Elon Musk, because 10 years ago, he proposed this exact same idea with the Hyperloop, a frictionless pod that blazes through a high-speed tube, getting you anywhere in the country in record time. But when he went to work on this with the Boring Company, they couldn't make it happen. So he pivoted the Boring Company to build tunnels for cars instead. However, one country stuck with the Hyperloop idea, China. And 10 years later, they actually did it, which is good news for everyone, because it'll light a fire under Elon in the US, which is currently bogged down in regulation. For example, California's high-speed rail has only completed 119 miles of construction after 15 years. That's 8 miles of construction per year. So expect Elon and Doge to slash regulations around interstate travel and start cooking on a high-speed rail, because otherwise, China's gonna leave us in the dust.
They already did leave us in the dust.
It does seem like they're living in the future.
Check this out. This might be the future of video storytelling. It's called the generative world model. It lets you turn a single image into a photorealistic cinematic world. And these will be used in movies, commercials, even game design. Like, look at this Japanese garden or this suburban house on the corner. It's insane how immersive and realistic these feel. This company's called Odyssey, and they could generate worlds from scratch in just 10 minutes. But the craziest part about this isn't the worlds themselves. It's how the team designed the system. Because their secret sauce is super unique: self-driving cars. The founders of Odyssey spent 20 years working on self-driving, and this gave them a unique insight. Self-driving cars also operate on world models, but they only work because of the real-world training data. Millions of miles driven to train the car's vision. So to build these cinematic worlds, Odyssey also needed real-world training data, but they didn't want to be limited to data where only cars could drive. So they invented this. It's a backpack-style capture kit that allows them to get real-world training data wherever a human can walk. It's like Google Street View, except it goes everywhere except the roads. Odyssey believes eventually they'll be able to render Hollywood-level worlds in real time. But to do it, they're going to need tons of real-world 3D data captured from these kits. Something tells me they're going to figure it out, because they just recruited the founder of Pixar to join their company.
As soon as they combine this with quantum computers, we're going to be able to make an ultra-realistic simulation.
There's bigger things to worry about with quantum computers, bro. They're gonna destroy all encryption.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter in the world, both of which are based in New Jersey, of all places. And yes, I'm talking like regular glitter, the same stuff you use in arts and crafts. One of these companies is like super secret and private, that apparently invented glitter themselves and is very hush-hush about everything. And the other is GlitterX. No one really thought much of it until it came out that we actually have a worldwide shortage of glitter back in 2018. Kind of a weird thing to be short of. So a journalist from the New York Times went in to interview the team at GlitterX to find out. She casually asked if she could tour the factory, and surprisingly, GlitterX told her absolutely not. Like, there was no debate about it. She was strictly not allowed to see how glitter was made, and wasn't even allowed to be in a nearby room to even hear how it's made. So instead, she was just left to interview a manager at the company, and things just kept getting sketchier. She asked the manager if she could tell her what industry serves as her biggest market, and the GlitterX rep instantly, without hesitation, tells her, "No, I absolutely cannot tell you." Confused, the journalist asks her if she knows who their biggest customer is, and she replies with, "Oh god, yes, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that." Asking why she can't talk about it, she responds by saying because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter, and that if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know that it's glitter. The journalist then asks if you'd even be able to see the glitter at all in the finished product, to which the manager replies, "Oh, you'd be able to see something, but it's, yeah, I can't." And this interview single-handedly sparked the great glitter rabbit hole of the internet. Apparently, these clients that purchase glitter are all under a very strict confidentiality clause with GlitterX. They really do not want people to know that their products are made from the sparkly stuff. The industry these products are part of is clearly massive, yet no one knows what it is. So what even is glitter? By definition, it is aluminum metallized polyethylene terephthalate, essentially plastic that has been aluminized and shredded into tiny specks that sparkle. And it's used in a lot lot of things, from credit cards, passports, currency, football helmets, cosmetics, jet skis, granite countertops, even toothpaste, allegedly. But none of these are quite big enough to be this top industry buyer of glitter. One of the leading theories is that this biggest glitter industry is for boat paint, which many manufacturers do admit they use it in their boats. And they don't want people to know about it because of how much microplastics in the glitter these boats are really dumping into the ocean, which is a hot topic these days and is why they'd want to keep it such a secret. Others claim that it's being dumped into beaches to make the sand sparkle, or that it's just Crest toothpaste and we're rubbing the microplastics directly into our gums, as well as for use in military applications, which would obviously be highly classified, and this is where the theory takes an unexpected turn. Remember that super secret company that basically founded glitter, the other New Jersey company that isn't GlitterX? Turns out they're actually not as big of a secret as they'd like to be, called Meadowbrook Inventions, which was founded by Henry F. Rushman, a German-American machinist who invented modern glitter in the 1930s, and also happened to be part of the Manhattan Project, the highly classified operation that created the atom bomb. So the guy who invented glitter also helped create the world's first nuclear weapon. Who would have known? Meadowbrook's machines that make glitter are also commonly used for government contracts for products like rocket fuel, airplane brake shoes, and anti-radar chaff, which are chopped up fibers they shoot out of military planes that can block radar, redirect heat-seeking missiles, and can even be used to simulate poor weather conditions on radar. Good thing the government would never do that. Henry W. Rushman, the son of the original creator, was interviewed and even admitted to what they were really using glitter for all these years, specifically mentioning money, passports, toothpaste, and all those military applications like that anti-radar chaff, and even mentioned it was used in special batteries they produced for a military contractor called Picatinny Arsenal. Batteries that he claimed produce more electricity than any other battery we've ever known, and was pretty quiet about it after that. If there's anything we've learned about the government, it's that they love spending money, and their budget is essentially endless, especially if it's for the military. And given all these military uses of glitter, as well as its founder's roots in the Manhattan Projects and connection to atomic bombs, this one might be our answer. What other industry could be so secret that the New York Times article described it as CIA levels of obfuscation? How about the CIA itself? Perhaps once again the government is behind it all, using the same sparkly powder found in children's art projects for military applications, fighter jets, rocket fuel, money, and passports. Possibly even some new high-tech super battery they don't want the rest of us to know about. What a plot twist that would be if glitter of all things ends up being the government's top secret weapon to control the masses.
Wonder who's buying all the glitter.
It was deadly, bro. But we'll have to save that for next time.
A big thanks to all the new members who have joined this week. Welcome to our community.
Shout out everyone buying the hoodies and the sweatshirts. Send us some pics when you get them.
And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.